of the best years where you got so many beautiful pots. Devotees have been painting these pots for like weeks, at their home with like using their devotional thinking, how can we make this pot more attractive? And you'll be amazed later on when we get these pots outside to see how beautiful the paintings are. And plus the ingredients in all these pots, we have never done this before. Very, very special ingredients, right? So it's going to be a very, very nice, thank you everyone who helped with this entire offering. The theme of this festival is everyone coming together and doing seva for the pleasure of Sri Nityananda Ram. Right? So thank you everyone. So our schedule is, we are going to start off immediately right now by the talk by His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj Ki. And immediately after the talk, we are going to have these special pots which are actually going to come out and we are going to distribute them among all the devotees in a very special way. So we'll be talking about that immediately after the class. But right now we would like to invite everyone, all the kids here also. All come in front, please come here. Everyone, all the kids right here. Vedant, Niranjan, Krish, everyone here. Come all the way in front. Yeah, sit here, everyone. And also we request all the devotees, can we get the mic stand? Divyansh, can you bring the mic stand, please? And remaining devotees, if we can request everyone to please come front. We'll have many devotees come during the talk. So if everyone can kindly move forward all the way in front. Please don't leave any gaps in front of you. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So everyone please come inside, and immediately after the talk, we will have our special prasadam distribution. So please stay for the entire festival. It's going to be a wonderful, very special, blissful evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming in spite of the heat. We're trying to, this is unusual heat, even for North Carolina at this time of year. And it's better that people don't go in and out of that door there. They could use the side doors, because that way the heat. Anyway, I guess it's going to be impossible. Whatever. Okay, everyone will have to tolerate. Don't open the door. Side doors. Yes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Gopi Janabalapa Hirivaruna Gutri Gopi Janabalapa Hirivaruna Gutri Yasodaranjana Prajajanuranjana Yasodaranjana Prajajanuranjana Jamuna Tera Panachate Yamuna Tera Banachate Jayaranu Madhova Kunyabirate Jayaranu Madhova Kunyabirate Gopi Jana Malaba Yedibado Dagate Gopi Jana Malaba Yedibado Dagate Yasoda Dandana Prajajana Ranjana Yasoda Dandana Prajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tera Panachare Yamuna Tera Banachare Jaya Radham Madhuva Kunnabihare Jaya Radham Madhuva Kunyabihate Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidikacharya also Teta Satishi Shimad His Divine Grace Savaya Charananda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti, Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopa Gopinath Sayam Kunda, Radhakunda, Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Maturadam Ki Jai, Jagadada Swami Ki Jai, Munamai Ki Jai, Shrimati Lasadevi Ki Jai, Samveda Bhakta Vrindi Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namah Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Pristaya Budale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Samani Chinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni. Nivasesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deja Tarni. So today is the famous Panihati festival. So, Omagana, Timidanda, Shagananjana, Shlakaya, Chakshuran Meditam, Yena Tasmai, Shri Gurave Namaha, where we learn about the mercy of Lord Nityananda, especially towards this great devotee named Raghunath Das Goswami, who was one of the main acharyas coming down from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but this is the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is Balaram. Balaram Hoila Nitai. And Balaram is the original spiritual master. The Vedic literatures tell us, Nayamatma Balahinena Labhva. No one can get the mercy of Krishna without getting Balaram's mercy. And Balaram, of course, is the older brother of Krishna. So I'm not going to talk about Balaram so much. We're talking about Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda appeared with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there's the lotus feet, Lord Nityananda. And of course, everybody knows who Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, right? He's Krishna himself, who's in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he's known as Gauranga. And Radharani is known as Gaurangi. And normally, Krishna has a blackish complexion, like a new cloud. We'd like to see a lot of clouds now and rain, wouldn't we? So, but when he takes on the mood of Radharani, he also takes on her color. And he takes on her compassion. Because Krishna is compassionate up to a point. And Radharani is unlimitedly compassionate and soft-hearted. So therefore we pray to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratasena Namaha. You are the most munificent avatar or personality of Godhead. And you're giving freely love of God to everybody. And of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's principal followers were known as the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, which you see here. Rupa, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Jiva Gopal, Bhatta, Raghunath Das, and Jiva Goswami. Oh, I said Jiva already. So these are the primary disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who he empowered to teach Krishna consciousness so that all of us would understand how to execute Bhakti Yoga. Now, talking about Raghunath Das, he appeared in a place called Saptagram. If you see here, that's to the right, and you see Delhi in the middle of India. And he was born in a very, very rich family. His father's name was quite nice. His father's name was Govardhan. Everyone's heard of Govardhan before? But we're not talking about his father was not Govardhan Hill. His father was named Govardhan. And they were super, super rich. He had a spiritual master named Yadunandana Acharya, and he was born in the year 1417. And he learned about Krishna consciousness and associated with Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was the Nama Acharya. Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family, but by the association of the devotees, he actually took on the responsibility of being the main teacher of the holy name. So he associated, Raghunath Das associated with Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur was chanting, anybody know how many rounds? 190, almost 192 rounds a day. Ooh, that's a lot. Has anyone here tried to chant 192 rounds? No. I've done 64, actually 80 on my best day. So that's pretty good. So because he was associating with Haridas Thakur, his parents got really worried about him. Because when you associate with the devotees, then you lose interest in things of this world. And then, let's say if all you young people, you said, I don't want to go to school anymore and become a doctor. How many people want to become doctors? Your parents told you to become doctors. Ah, I know. And so what would happen if you told your mother, I don't want to be a doctor? I don't want to think about what would happen. It'd be quite dangerous for you. And so he was becoming so detached. He wasn't interested in anything except for Krishna consciousness. So they thought, we wanted to keep him steady in this material world by getting him married and giving him a lot of money. And they married him to an extremely beautiful girl, like a heavenly society girl. And had they had so much money, it was incredible. So in the meantime, he was very attached to Krishna, and news reached him that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas and had gone to Shantipur to see Advaita Acharya. Everybody knows who Advaita Acharya is? He's an incarnation of Mahavishnu. So Raghunath Das said, I got to go see him. So accompanied by all these bodyguards, because his parents didn't want him to escape, he went to see Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya put his foot on his head and embraced him. Wow. And this is actually where this particular thing happened. So he went another time to see Lord Chaitanya in Advaita's house and spent a whole week. And he wanted to give up everything and run away and join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri. He tried running away again and again and again, and he was always caught. Actually, when I was young, I ran away too. I ran away because I wanted to renounce this world. Anyway, and I wasn't caught. So anyway, then Lord Chaitanya said, don't act crazy like this. You should just simply act normally and do business. And when it's time to get Krishna's mercy, it'll be time to join me. So what happened in the meantime, his father and his uncle, who were collecting taxes, took too much for themselves. And guess what happened? They got arrested. They didn't get arrested, but they went to arrest them. But they ran away, and Raghunath Das was there, and he was able to negotiate a settlement by bribing. So anyway, so he was very expert, very, very expert at business dealings. And he still wanted to join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but his mother said, keep him at home. Keep him at home. And then his father said, who can bind up a madman who's attached to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So anyway, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had told him to make believe that he was attached. So, all right. Finally, the next day, after his mother had a traumatic breakdown because she was very worried that he was going to run away, in the village of Panihati, Lord Nityananda was residing. And so Raghunath Das went there and obtained an interview with Lord Nityananda. Actually, he was avoiding Lord Nityananda in the beginning because he was feeling very guilty about being in a materialistic situation. So Lord Nityananda saw him at a distance and said, drag him here, bring him here, and he put his feet on top of Raghunath Das's head. And Lord Nityananda was shining like thousands of rising suns. So, and Lord Nityananda said to him, I have caught you. You are a thief. Of course, Lord Nityananda is Balaram, as we mentioned before. I have caught you. You're a thief, and I'm going to give you a fine. He said, I belong to a community of coward boys, and therefore I generally have many coward boys take association with me and take prasadam together. We should all eat together in a picnic on the bank of the river, and you should pay for it and sponsor it. And there's a picture of Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda ordered him, and he agreed to pay for it because he was quite rich. And during this festival, which we're celebrating today, there were 400 large pots, very large pots, not the little pots we have here. You know, big, big pots like this. Pots soaked in hot milk. There was rice soaked in hot milk, and it was divided. Everyone was offered 2 little earthen pots. In one was put chip rice with condensed milk and a special banana, sugar, ghee, camphor, and the other was chip rice with sugar and bananas. Of course, today we have many different varieties, more than they had during this Panihati festival. Then Lord Nityananda sat on a raised platform, and with his associates, they took prasadam from each of the 7 big pots, and then from each and every pot, Lord Nityananda Prabhu took one morsel, that means a little bit of prasadam of chip rice and pushed it into the mouth of Lord Chaitanya, which nobody could see. Lord Chaitanya came because of Lord Nityananda's mercy. And only a few people, Lord Nityananda, of course, and maybe one or two other people could see this. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was smiling during the whole thing, and he took a morsel of food and pushed it into the mouth of Lord Nityananda. And he laughed as he made Lord Nityananda eat it. But very few people could see this. This is secret pastime. And so here you see this happening in this particular picture. Lord Nityananda is feeding Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya is invisible. And so this is like the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram. And something else happened. There was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda known as Raghava Pandit. And Raghava Pandit, he was a wealthy person too. He came with a lot of food to feed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he distributed it to everybody. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, whoop, I guess they're going. Sunday school, okay. Sorry, hopefully I'm not boring you. So Lord Nityananda said, I will eat at your place tonight. So that night, Lord Nityananda, he came to Raghava Pandit's place. And so still the coward boys and the associates of Lord Nityananda were taking prasadam, and they were remembering very much how Krishna and Balaram ate with their companions on the bank of the Yamuna. And Lord Nityananda gave Raghunath Das remnants. That night, they took prasadam at Raghava Pandit's house, and Lord Nityananda called Raghunath Das near him, and he placed his lotus feet on Raghunath Das's head again. And he said, my dear Raghunath Das, since you arranged the feast on the bank of the Ganges, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here just to show you his mercy. So in other words, Raghunath Das wanted the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so he could get out of his entangling situation and become a full-time preacher and associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he needed to get the mercy of Balaram Nitai in order to do that. Very interesting. There's a description, in order to get free of impediments in devotional service, we approach Lord Nityananda first. And Lord Nityananda is approached through the spiritual master. And then once we have Lord Nityananda's mercy, then we can go to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and come to the ecstatic platform. Then, once we've gotten the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we want to further understand the pastimes of Krishna with his internal associates in Vrindavan, then we approach the 6 Goswamis in Vrindavan, one of whom, of course, is Raghunath Das Goswami. So that night, after Lord Nityananda spoke this to Raghunath Das Goswami, there was congregational chanting of the holy name for hours and hours and hours, and everyone took prasadam later. Raghava Pandit is described by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and by Lord Nityananda, had Radharani cooking in his kitchen, because Raghava Pandit is Dinishta in Krishna Leela, which is Krishna's cousin. So Raghunath Das Goswami, or Raghunath Das at that time, was told that if you eat the remnants of Lord Nityananda, and you're all going to get the remnants of Lord Nityananda today, you will be freed from all your entanglements in this world. Doesn't mean that everyone will take sannyas and leave your family. Doesn't mean that you're all going to leave your families. Don't worry. But a real sannyasi is one who is not attached to the fruits of his or her actions and dedicates everything to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As the famous Acharya Bhaktivinoda Thakur states, Manasa geha geha, deha geha, yokishamor arpilam tuya pade, Nanda Kishore. Whatever I have, Krishna, my body, my home, everything is yours, Nanda Kishore. Everything belongs to Krishna, right? Ishavashamidam sarvam yatkancha jagatam jagat tenajaktena punjitha magridha kashasvidinam. So, Raghunath was told that you will be freed from all your entanglement. The next morning, Raghunath Das prayed to get shelter at Lord Chaitanya's feet and said, only by your mercy, Lord Nityananda, can I get free from my entanglement. Lord Nityananda praised the opulence of Raghunath Das, saying, he is so rich and still he's detached from this world. And this means he has Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And so he was very, very pleased. Lord Nityananda asked all the Vaishnavas to bless Raghunath Das and explain that when Raghunath Das left home, he would be under the care of Swarup Damodar Goswami, Swarup Damodar, who was one of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, who was staying with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. He's considered to be an incarnation of Lalita Devi in Krishna's pastimes. So then Raghunath Das went home expecting to be able to escape, but he had all these guards around him 24/7. That means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they were watching him. He cannot, even when he went to pass or something like that, they went outside the latrine just watching him, make sure he didn't escape. But Krishna arranged something by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Raghava Das's spiritual master, Yadunandana Acharya, came to see Raghunath Das in the middle of the night, and he said, I have a problem with one of my pujaris who is supposed to be doing deity worship. He's not showing up. So can you go preach to him? And of course, Yadunandana Acharya was into this trick to get Raghunath Das out. So it was the middle of the night, the guards were sleeping, and Raghunath Das ran away from home. So he ran towards Jagannath Puri, and the first day he actually went 30 miles. Now you may think that's very little. It's not very little. And this is through the jungle. This is not like going on a highway, driving his car. And even though he was so rich and he was accustomed to great opulence like Indra, still he lived practically every night in the cow sheds, sleeping on the floor. So 30 miles the first day, and it took him 12 days, and he only ate for 3 days. Very austere. Can any of you do that? No, I don't think so. So then, after he arrived in Jagannath Puri, he got the association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And having the association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got to take prasadam. But guess what type of prasadam he got to take? The remnants of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So for 5 days, he was taking the remnants of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and enjoying that. And he was given the shelter, as I mentioned before, of Swarup Damodar Goswami, who you see here, and taught about Radha and Krishna. And what happened is after those 5 days of taking Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's remnants, he began to beg outside of the Singha Dwara gate. Singha Dwara gate means the lion gate of the Jagannath temple. So he was begging outside there, and he got instruction from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Lord Chaitanya was very pleased that he was eating very, very simply, because when you beg outside the gate, you don't get that much opulent prasadam. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him this instruction. Do not expect honor, but offer all respects to others. Always chant the holy name of Lord Krishna, and within your mind render service to Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya said that if renunciate, that means sannyasi, is eager to taste different foods, his spiritual life is lost. Don't worry, none of you are renunciates. That refers to me only. Can't be eager to taste different foods. You can be eager. Anyway, because we know it's important for all of us, regardless of who we are, to conquer our senses. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara pashta vegam. We have all this pushing and pulling from our senses. And if we can conquer our senses, particularly the tongue, we can conquer Krishna. So don't worry about that right now. You just take prasadam. I don't want to discourage anyone from Krishna consciousness. You take prasadam to your full satisfaction. Sharira vijaja jatendriya. Not now, don't get worried. Jatendriya tehekala jiva falaya vishayasakare dharma de juayati loba moisa durmati tekeji nakatina samsare Krishna boradoy moy. Kribara jivjay srapasanan dedalai sahinamrita pal Radha Krishna gunagao premadaka chitanindai. That doesn't mean you should all run off and eat now. So this prayer is, O Lord, this material body is a place of ignorance, and the senses are networks of past leading to death. But you, Lord Sri Krishna, is so kind. You give us this prasadam, Bhagavad prasadam, to help us conquer the senses. So now let us take this prasadam in great love, call for Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, to help us. So we have that faith. By executing Krishna consciousness, we get detached from the senses, and we get attached. That is the point. We get attached to Krishna. Because raso varjam rasyopyasya palandrishta nivartate. If we experience a higher taste, then we're not so much interested in running here and there just to satisfy the tongue. So this is a very important process. How do we get attached to Krishna? By associating with the devotees, eating prasadam, serving, different ways, the 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, especially Shravanam, hearing about Krishna and chanting about Krishna. So, here's Raghunath Das begging on the 6th day, well, it's not a picture of him, but this is the gate of the temple, begging for prasadam. So, after some time, he stopped doing that. What did he do? He went to a prasadam booth instead, because he figured it wasn't renunciation to the highest degree to be begging, because when you beg from people, you actually treat them differently according to what they could give or what they have given. So he wanted to have a mind that was equipoised. So, Lord Chaitanya, then he started to go to the free food booth, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased with him that he gave him a Govardhan Shila that had been given to him, and Gunjamala. Gunjamala represents Shrimati Radharani, and Govardhan, of course, is non-different from Krishna, is also Krishna's servant, Haridas Varya. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been keeping this Govardhan Shila and touching it to his heart and crying over it. So it's this very, very special gift he got, that is Raghunath Das got from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he gave Raghunath Das further instructions. He said, don't speak ordinary talks, which are called gramikata, or hear or eat palatable foodstuffs. Don't dress opulently. Don't expect honor, but give it. Always chant Hare Krishna in your mind and serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So remember, Raghunath Das came from a super opulent background, and now he was given instructions completely the opposite from what he had experienced before in his childhood, and he was happy. Most people, they come from a very wealthy family, and you put them in a poverty-stricken condition, they'll die. And we see this is the case of all the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They came from very, very, very wealthy families. And they lived very simply, ultimately, in Vrindavan, sleeping or resting maybe an hour and a half a day, eating very little, and being absorbed in translating and writing Vaishnava literatures, preaching Krishna consciousness, and establishing temples. So here's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the Govardhan Shila. The Govardhan Shila was moist from the tears of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Raghunath Das was taught by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Govardhan Shila is directly the body of Krishna. We have a Govardhan Shila on the altar, which when you take darshan, you can see the Govardhan Shila. Directly the body of Lord Krishna. And if you worship Govardhan in the mode of goodness and offer 8 tulsi manjaris every day that have 2 leaves on them, then you will get the shelter of Govardhan and Radharani's mercy. So in this way, and then he also recited this famous verse to Raghunath Das Goswami, Trinadapi Sinichena Taro Ivasihishna Amanina Amanadena Kirtaniya Siddhahare. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others. And in such a state of mind, one could chant the holy name always. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's assistant, Govinda, was supplying sweets for the Govardhan Shila every day. And so, of course, Raghunath Das distributed those sweets. Then finally, we mentioned that Raghunath Das was eventually eating from the free food booths. Finally, he decided to become more renounced. And he started eating only the rice that was rejected, that was thrown out for the cows. And even the cows wouldn't eat that rice. He would wash the rice with some water and put a little salt on it. And that was all he was eating. Who can do that? Can you do that? That's all he was eating. I mean, so austere. But remember, these personalities had spiritual bodies. We should not try this because our bodies are material. They have spiritual bodies, not material bodies like ours. And so they don't need the same necessities that we have. So even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased with this, he came to see Raghunath Das and he demanded some of the rice. And he grabbed the rice, he grabbed some of it from Raghunath Das and ate it, but then he was stopped from taking a second morsel by Swarup Damodar. And he said, this food is not fit for you. And then he said to Raghunath Das, why are you saving the best prasadam and not sharing it with us? Can you imagine? I mean, this is something on the transcendental platform. So after 16 years of staying with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world by entering into the Tota Gopinath deity in Jagannath Puri. And Raghunath Das became so upset, depressed, he became determined to leave his body too. But he thought, to leave my body, I'm going to go to Govardhan. There's, see Govardhan there. I'm going to go to Govardhan and throw myself off the hill. And so he actually went to Govardhan, but he was dissuaded from doing that by Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. Why? Because obviously devotees not supposed to commit suicide. But even more importantly, He was the one who directly observed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes for 16 years. More than the other Goswamis of Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they stayed a year or two with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Raghunath Das Goswami witnessed the final years of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And during these final years of his pastimes, he showed the topmost symptoms of ecstasy in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So the Goswamis of Vrindavan, like Rupa and Sanatan and others, they wanted to hear about these pastimes. And so they employed him in reciting Lord Chaitanya's pastimes for 3 hours a day. So there was Chaitanya Katha for 3 hours a day, spoken by Raghunath Das Goswami. And he also was doing his bhajan and recitation of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, which he did for 22 and a half hours a day. Imagine that. And his performance of sadhana, that means practice of devotional service, was like lines etched in a stone. You could not determine whether it was sickness or health or hot weather or cold weather. And in Vrindavan, it gets very hot. We complain here, don't we, about the heat. Like today, it got up to 92, 93. It's not that hot in here right now, thank God. But we complain about the heat. But in India, sometimes, I spent part of a summer in Govardhan, and it was 120 Fahrenheit degrees when I was there. And if you step out the door, of course, many of you are from India, but if you step out the door in the middle of the day, it's like walking into an oven. I had to sleep on a concrete floor. I didn't have air conditioning that year. And that was very, very austere. And it gets very cold there, too. And these personalities like Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sanatan, Rupa Goswami, they lived like that for years. And they had such clarity of mind, they were able to write Vaishnava literatures to the highest intellectual degree. Like if you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, beautiful poetry, elaborate philosophy. And he wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita when he was in his mid-90s. And he could hardly see. And I'm in my mid-70s and I'm complaining. So in his mid-90s, I mean, these are transcendent. The point I'm making, these are transcendental personalities, not ordinary personalities. And he resided on the banks of Radhakund and Shamakund. And, of course, the Kund didn't look like that at that time. They were just still very, very small ponds in the field. And he wanted to excavate the Kunds and make them bigger, not quite as big as they are today. And as he was planning his excavation, Yudhisthira Maharaj came to him in a dream and told him that he was living on the banks of the Shamakund as a tree, and the Pandavas were also living as trees, so not to cut them down. So there's the Arjun tree right there. That's Raghunath Das Goswami. And so we're going to talk more about the Radha Kund story in a second. But as he was meditating and chanting his japa along the banks of the Shamakund, especially this Manasapavan Ghat, as I mentioned before, it was hot and cold, but also there were wild animals there, tigers. And so Sanatana Goswami one time saw Krishna protecting Raghunath Das from a tiger. Krishna had a stick, and there were tigers there. And Sanatana Goswami said to Raghunath Das, you have to build a kutir, a place for yourself to stay. and Raghunath Das didn't take it so seriously. Then shortly thereafter, when it was very, very hot outside, Sanatana Goswami saw Srimati Radharani shielding Raghunath Das from the sun. Then he really chastised Raghunath Das Goswami, and Srimati Radharani was perspiring. And so Sanatana Goswami chastised Raghunath Das Goswami, and he said, you must build a kutir, and he finally built a kutir on the banks of the Shamakund. There's another picture of that, and another picture of that. And here's a picture of inside his kutir. It's called the Manasa Pavanagat on Shamakund's banks. Also, he arranged for the Gopi Kupa to be dug. A Gopi Kupa is a well, and that well he wanted dug because the residents of the Radhakund area were always using Radhakund to wash their clothes and clean the pots and everything like that, and so he wanted a separate source of water. So they were digging out in this Gopi Kund, and they hit a rock. And when they hit that rock, the rock started to bleed, and he stopped the digging. That night, Raghunath Das had a dream, and Krishna revealed to him that rock was the tongue of Govardhan, and it's supposed to be installed in a separate temple. So here's the temple, and it's called the Jib Mandir, or Jiwa Mandir, or the Tongue Mandir. You see a picture right there. So, how he got the money to excavate Radhakund is quite interesting. There was a very rich man who was sent, he was in Badrinath, and he was sent by Vadari Narayan to pay for the excavation of the two kunds. He was told, he was going to give a donation to Badrinath, and he was told to give it to Raghunath Das Goswami to excavate Radhakund and Shaimakund. And while they were excavating, they discovered the original deities of Radhakund, which are pictured here, a closer picture. This is called the Puran Mandir. That means the old mandir where the original deities of Radhakund are situated. And then several other pastimes, we got a few more minutes, were there. One is that one time he had indigestion when he was offering rice mixed with milk in his meditation. He wasn't actually eating it himself, but he was offering it and eating it in meditation. And the doctor actually corroborated that he had eaten rice and milk, even though it was all done in meditation. So, many, many stories about that. We mentioned Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami had his Bhajan Kutir right next to Raghunath Das's Bhajan Kutir, and he was able to hear from Raghunath Das the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, particularly the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as a result, he was able to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we are extremely grateful for. So also, he constructed a bathing place for Janavamata, who was the wife of Lord Nityananda. And his life, he chanted every day at least 100 malas. Well, 100,000, I mean 64 rounds. 1,000 dandavats. 1,000 dandavats to devotees every day. 3 hours narrating the Leela and 2 daily baths in Radhakund. And as I mentioned before, he rested only for an hour and a half a day. He passed away from this world in 1595. And while he was executing his devotional service there, he composed many Vaishnav literatures, expert in Sanskrit. One literature is the Stavamali, Danakeli Chintamani, Mukta Charita, which is about the famous pearl pastime, which we tell when we're at Govardhan, and particularly the Mana Shiksha, which are the instructions to the mind, how to give up all of one's attachments in this world and to identify them. And here is a list of all the literatures he composed. So today, we are celebrating the mercy of Lord Nityananda to Raghunath Das Goswami. By Lord Nityananda's mercy, and especially this Panihati festival, Raghunath Das was empowered to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and give us the highest truths of Krishna consciousness. Raghunath Das is known as the Prayojana Acharya. There's 3 branches of teachings of Krishna consciousness. One is Sambandha, the next one is Abhideya, and the next one is Prayojana. And Prayojana means the ultimate goal, going back to home, back to Godhead, understanding Radha Krishna Leela. Sambandha means understanding the basic philosophy, and Abhideya means how to practice that philosophy, and Prayojana is the goal. So, Rupa Goswami is the Abhideya Acharya, that means how to practice, and Sanatana Goswami is the Sambandha Acharya. So, Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai. So, any questions or comments before we go on to the next program? Anybody have any questions about Raghunath Das Goswami? If not, yes. Oh, you have a question. Where is the Shila? Does anyone know where that Shila is now? I don't. I can look it up later. What's it? The Radha Gopinath temple. Radha Raman, it's at the Radha Raman temple? Radha Gokulananda. That's right. Radha Gokulananda. Okay, thank you very much. And without further ado, and thank you all for, yes, oh, you have a question. Would you like? I didn't quite hear. 16 years he spent with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He what? Well, he observed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes for 16 years. I don't have a lot of information other than the fact that he took instruction from Swarup Damodar Goswami while he was there. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assigned Swarup Damodar Goswami to be his Siksha Guru. There's not any more information in the Chaitanya Charitamrita other than that. Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll proceed with the next item. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now Aditya Narayan Prabhu will lead the program. This is what you've all been waiting for.
Hare Krishna. So let's first of all thank His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj for such a beautiful narration of the Panihati festival and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami establishing the theme and the mood of this beautiful festival. So let's loudly express our gratitude to His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Hariva! Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much. So, thank you everyone for joining us. Nice to see all of you on this very auspicious festival day. Now we are going to have this special offering which we are going to distribute. How many of you have been to our Panihati festival before in the previous years? Haribol. Okay, so you know how we do it. It's a very, very unique festival. Once a year we have the way of distributing prasadam that you're just going to witness. But But before we start distribution of the prasadam, we have something for all of you. So let's see the devotees come out. Can I get a chair here, please? One of those chairs. Everyone, please join me. Hare Krishna, Hare